Hello and welcome to another fun-filled edition of Adam's Music Box. Now, I want to take you to a journey to 1978 or round about then, and I want to ask you what guitar, electric guitar in particular, sounded like. Well, among the people that were guitar heroes of the 70s, guitar was very much filling up with more and more effects. It was getting louder and louder, more and more distorted, more and more flanged, more and more reverb, more. And it sounded great. And many of my favorite guitarists could be accused in a positive way of doing just such things. And it really would help if I brought my microphone close to me. And so many could obviously be accused of doing those things. And it takes a lot to sort of buck the trends and to do it your own way. Enter Mark Knopfler, one of the guitar greats of all time. And he really took guitar playing back to its roots at a time when it was getting further and further. It was getting increasingly reliant on technology to shape the sound, which is something that technically non-proficient guitar players could use as a shield, and it's something that proficient guitar players could use as a weapon to overwhelm everything that was around them. Mark Knopfler took a very interesting approach. With Strat in hand, he decided to play in a very organic, clean style. The kind of style that you can't hide behind. The kind of style where if you're mediocre, things get boring, and if you're bad, things get unpleasant. Luckily, Mark Knopfler has some of the best technique of any guitarist that ever went mainstream, or even any guitarist who is sort of someone that only other guitarists like. Knopfler obviously is someone that not only do other guitarists love, but so did the general public. And he did so with a left hand that was just quick and that was clean, and a right hand that just had the perfect intonation. It was an instantly recognizable sound. It was the kind of sound that you didn't need much technology to replicate, which must have been a source of inspiration, especially going into the 80s when music became increasingly removed from, the guitar, bass, drums in someone's garage. It became more and more like, well, if you can't afford Trevor Horn and a major Hollywood recording studio, just give it up, don't do music. Mark Knopfler showed that this wasn't the case. With a guitar in your hand and grit and talent, you too could do it. Not as well as him, probably, but nevertheless, do it. And I think that was a huge revelation, not only in 1978, but throughout the 80s, as Dire Straits really went from strength to strength. The guitar sound of Mark Knopfler never really changed. He never went into gimmickry. And this won him a lot of respect for his peers. The other thing that I think makes him very special is that he was a great songwriter. So many of those songs you can just either sing to yourself, part of the chorus, hum to yourself, part of a solo line or a riff. I mean, think about it. Sultans of Swing, Walk of Life, some of the ballads, Telegraph Road, absolutely wonderful. Love Over Gold, one of the best songs ever. If you listen to that song without any pretense that it's a rock album, or that it's from the 80s, or any of these other things that we can think of, just put on Love Over Gold and it will bring you to tears. The opening section that's very lyrical, the way that it builds into the solo. If you ask me, that might be one of his finest hours. But then listen to the song Brothers in Arms, a kind of elegy, but with a happy ending. I don't know. That's the mystery that he was able to impart. And then, of course, Money for Nothing was a huge smash hit. We talked about that a while back. But he's done loads of solo stuff apart from Dire Straits, including great soundtrack work. And there is something very cinematic about his guitar. And again, not because of obtuse orchestrations or effects, but because he uses his guitar to tell a story, much like someone like Chad Atkins did. And I would really put him up there. Almost, there's definitely a Chad Atkins influence, and he's able to tell a story with guitar even before you hear the lyrics, and that's also very unique. And he's done so many other interesting solo stuff that, if anything, is even more stripped back. and organic than even the Dire Straits stuff. And he continues to go strong. He's been a friend and collaborator of other great guitarists. There's not much more you can say other than listen, listen, listen. And whenever you feel that music's become too TikTokified, the way that in the late 70s and 80s it might have been too technologified, listen to Mark Knopfler, listen to his guitar, and sometimes when you've got talent, you don't need to hide behind anything else. That's the message for the day. Like, subscribe. We will see you next time. Take care.